Hello everyone and welcome back to more ESL Challenger League action. Once again we're in the South American region and we've got actually a matchup to come tonight which we haven't seen before, and we'll see how actually it goes down for the first time. Imperial versus Dusty Roots. And with Travis, of course, alongside me as usual. Is a lovely match. He's been a little bit under the weather today, but there's no way he'd miss a cast with me because that's how much I mean to him.
There we go. Let's just get it out the way early, shall we? So that we won't have that happening again. Apologies. But yes, Trav, you're bang on the money. Under the weather, but that certainly won't be stopping me from joining you on the mic here for this fine game of Counter-Strike. You've just come back from Cologne. I can't pass up that opportunity. You know, get to hear how everything's been, get to cast alongside the big man himself. So let's get into it, mate. Yeah,
it should be fun. It should be fun. I had a wonderful time in Cologne, and yeah, I can't wait for next year already, which says a lot about it. First thing I want to chat about tonight, very briefly, of course, is about, of course, the next season of ESEA. Of course, you can sign up right now, get your registration going for ESEA season 51. Of course, lots of opportunities here, not just for competing and working your way up the ladders in ESEA. But also, for fellow casters and broadcast people alike to, apply their trade and practice in these particular matches. All these leagues, of course, going on. Open, you've got, of course, all the leagues going up to then Advanced and then to what we get now in ESL Challenger League. So that's where I began way back when, and as a caster, and occasionally played a few seasons myself. So, yeah, make sure you get yourself involved.
Yeah, you even still do some cast, some of those games on your own channel as is, right? So I came up as well, Trav, the good old ESCA days in South Africa, just streaming there on YouTube, 5-10 viewers maybe, players going back watching their game afterwards. But it's definitely, that you make a very good point about it's not just for the players to build their way up, right? There's a whole lot of different various people who can benefit from the stages throughout ESCA. And so yeah, make sure you sign up, guys, get involved.
We can have a quick look at the standings now as we can move on to our game tonight, of course, in the South American ECL. And actually, looking at it right now, of course, we were quickly discussing that before the game. Sure, Imperial have not played many games this season, and I also do believe they had to play 2 of the BO1s with Zach while they were figuring out the minus Henny plus try move, which we'll get onto, of course, in a moment. But yeah, they're not in a great place right now. As you see, they're kind of behind on matches. They're only quite equal least matches with a few other teams in the league at the moment. So they need to make sure they get a clean 2-0 tonight. They should, because it's against Dusty Roots, who are bottom of the league standings. So with a team of the quality of Imperial, you'd expect nothing less.
It's still very early days as well, right? You play, what, I think 30 best of ones in total, back-to-back best of ones against each of the teams in the group here as well. You got to place in the top 10, and if you do place in the top 10, you progress through to the playoffs, right? Just depends whereabouts in the top 10, whether you in the second stage of the upper bracket, first stage, or whether you start in the lower bracket. So not only do you have to place in that top 10, but where you place also matters quite a lot as well.
Yep, we can have a look at the schedule now, of course, as well, just to show you exactly what we have, of course, tonight. It's just a one game that's being broadcasted in SA tonight. It is Imperial versus Dusty Roots. And obviously it's quite interesting for Dusty Roots. As you say, they are a relatively new team when it comes to ECL, kind of applying their trade through all these sort of tier 2, tier 3 cups in South America, trying to improve their level. They've got a few known names, of course, Matt. I think the 2 that jump off the page to me are Tommy Jed, actually, and 1962, of course. He's been playing for a long time. Not since 1962, but for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, there is that old team of, like, some very old grannies and grandpas who do still play Counter-Strike, but 1962, I assure you, is not a part of that team. Yeah, let's pull some rosters up, Trav, and we can discuss the teams and go through some of these names that you're referring to. Of course, we're not so familiar with Dusty Roots across the board, but that's why we cast these kind of games. We get to know them a little bit better, and they certainly have their work cut out for them here against Imperial.
Yeah, I remember mostly of 1962, him playing on Leviathan for quite a few times. I think it was also back in, I think, 2020, I did an open qualifier when he was playing on Isurus, I believe. So, yeah, there's a few memories I have of him, that's for sure. When it comes to the others on the team, I've only seen them play once or twice before, so it's going to be interesting to see how they step up. Of course, it's another one of those teams that's trying to put Argentinian Counter-Strike on the map alongside, of course, Alexa from Chile. But, of course, kind of the big talking point about this particular matchup is Imperial and their new edition try. And a move that you know, removing Henny and taking Try, it seemed a little bit of a sideways move that didn't seem entirely necessary.
Yeah, I don't know if it was because they were trying to improve or increase the amount of firepower they were getting out of the AWPer. Maybe just came down to how well maybe Henny was gelling and meshing with the team. You know, Try's been out in the wilderness for a while as well, so I think it's good to see him coming back into the mix. If I'm not mistaken, I think, Trav, you'll know he had some health problems, right? That kind of saw him take a bit of an extended break, because before that he was doing phenomenally well on 9Z, right? And then had to just take a bit of a back seat after that for a while. But now it's good to see him back in the thick of things, and this Imperial team seems to be hitting hard at the moment. They've qualified straight into the RMR because of their Valve ranking, and I think that, you know, we could see them do quite a lot of damage there. They should certainly qualify. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do today.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I love Try as much as the next guy. We've kind of watched and casted him come up through the ranks. He's been on multiple different teams. Of course, he's been on a few mixes as well that kind of he didn't go as well as he would have hoped. Was he on that 0-0 Nation team with Morbs? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think he was for a short period, maybe.
Yeah.
Let's go back and check quickly.
You can check that, because I'm convinced that team existed in my memory bank somewhere. Anyway, so we're going to have a quick talk about the veto, of course, as well. This is the back-to-back best-of-1 format. Once we play map 1, which we're going to see here, that map will then not exist in the veto for the second. And as you can see, the first one will be Inferno. We haven't really got much to go off in terms of, as I said, previous matchups between these two. This is the first time they've played against each other. However, what we can tell you is that actually, for both of them, Inferno isn't that great. They've played it a similar amount of times recently. Imperial have only, I think, won a couple recently, 29% in the last 3 months for them. That's, I believe, 4 losses in a row as well. But for a couple of wins, you know, a few weeks ago in the IEM Rio South America qualifiers, they would have been on a much longer loss streak, like a bad loss streak on this map. So maybe Imperial are going into this one tonight saying, okay, Dusty Roots, they're not doing great on Inferno either. It's time for us to practice our Inferno and make it look good again, because, of course, we call it Vinferno for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to have a lot of fun down below, no doubt. But what I will say is that these two teams do play a different level of opposition on the map, or just, you know, in general, they play at a different level, right? So you look at the names Imperial have lost against in the past 4 games they played. Pain are 3 of the 4 teams, and then, or 3 of the 4 results, and Fury is the other one. So pretty tough opponents for them. They came close a couple times against Pain. As for their opponents here, you're talking about like Patton, Steferari, Galori's case. It's just a different box of frogs altogether, Trav. So there we go.
There it is indeed. And yeah, we can have a look at our predictions, of course, as well. There are obviously going to be no real surprise what we're going for here. Imperial across the board. I think if Imperial were to even lose one of these back-to-back BO1s today, it would be quite a big shock. As we said, they're not really up and running properly, it feels like, in ECL this season yet, but Dusty Roots have played a lot more and have lost a lot more. Simple as that, and it's just a different level of opposition. So yeah, that's kind of how we're thinking of it for sure. We can have a look at our player to watch. Of course, we've already touched on him ever so slightly, and now we can mention him and bring him up, and even bring up his full name as well. Mr. Try, yeah, I think he's the big talking point of this Imperial roster, purely because he's obviously replaced Henny, and people sort of looked at it as if to say, and he was doing quite well, why would you change it? But as you say, it could easily be a synergy and team-based call rather than a pure fragging call. So I've always liked Try. I think he settled in already pretty okay. But the next, obviously, you know, month and a bit with the RMR, as you mentioned, Matt, is going to be the true test.
Yeah, I think this team is in some really good form. I think he's come into a good project here, has Try. I don't think that this is a project that's going to require a lot of work for him to try and slot into place. I think everything's already preset. You know, they've got their structures, their protocols. He just has to plug and play right now, basically, right? I think this Imperial team has got a lot of confidence in their ability. Remember, there was that famous situation where there was some whispers about Phelps potentially joining Fury, and then Phelps came out and said, mate, I'd much rather stay in Imperial than actually join Fury. And that was an indictment of how people were feeling about Fury at the time. So this is the Imperial that Try has joined. So I feel like he's come into a healthy team that's in a good place at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely, and I wouldn't disagree with that in the slightest. I think the one thing that you'd look at this team and say, yeah, there's a few situations where you'd look at the individuals and say they maybe fall off a little bit against higher tier opposition, which is maybe to be expected, but it's kind of something we don't want to see, right, if they're to push towards that next level.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, it looks like we're going to be getting into Inferno very shortly. There we go. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this one goes. Of course, Dusty Roots is going to be very hard for them this matchup. Without a shadow of a doubt. They don't only have one player, I believe, who's got an over 1.0 rating in the last 3 months. That is the biggest problem, I think. Who's going to truly step up and cause Imperial problems?
Alright, well, not going to have to wait any longer to find out the answer to that question, because we're being thrust into the action. It is Imperial who find themselves on the T side here of Inferno. Pretty standard setup out of Dusty Roots. A couple players top on and one with utility set up that's open with the flashes, and he will deploy to try and help his teammates out, and it will net Alex a kill. He's able to fall away with 4 points of health. He's looking to try and bait here for max core as well, and he's not going to hang around. So at least Dusty Roots have been able to get all of their players out of dodge, and they found 2 kills for their troubles.
Yeah, it's a nice start. Smoking towards CT, and then bounce, of course, onto boost up. Max score, he's just got a nice little line ahead of it. He might be able to get one more kill, and that's actually a lovely catch on No Way. And there we go, Alexa and Owenzinho close it out to absolute perfection. All 5 stay alive in the end there for Dusty Roots. That's a good start. Imperial get completely stopped in their tracks straight away.
And it's not even like there was much of a contest in that pistol round either. Imperial just get picked apart. Everything they try, they lose a player until eventually they have to commit them to a bomb site, but they just don't really have the manpower. Nice position. Max Core just playing on the edge of that smoke there. And it is going to be a half buy from the T side. This is interesting. Okay, I guess a Hero Galil. They get, what, $2,400 to lose this next round. So it's not like that's enough for a full buy. It's enough for something. Fal's been able to find one, but goes down straight afterwards.
Oh, they can't take that on as possible with the Galil, I don't think. I tell a lie. Oh, and then Alexa falls off the top car position. And No Way gets gifted a second headshot. As you could see, he was kind of like crouch shifting his way toward that Galil, desperately trying to pick it up. And now look at this, they've recovered everything. Might be a push through the smoke by 1962, and he's played it well. He denies the first attempt at a plant, but now it's down to Owenzinho, and I think they know he's relatively close by. No Way's going to give it a glance right now. Of course, he's got no armor alongside Descenti, but they play it perfectly, and No Way gets a quad kill with an unlikely immediate rebuttal.
Well, that is just quite remarkable from No Way. The fact that he gets, what was it, 3 kills in that round there with the Galil is actually ridiculous. I mean, he has no armor. They know exactly where he is when he's cooped up in the corner, but he just steps out. Nice wide step from him to get that frag to alleviate the pressure. Then he even trades tryout after 1962 comes through the smoke, and that's a big dropping of the ball there from Dusty Roots as well, Trav. You're the underdogs coming into this series, you know, you've got to start strong. You win the pistol round, you're feeling good, and then you lose to a Hero Galil. It's not even a Hero AK, a Hero Galil with Glocks and P250s scattered in around it, and yeah, it's just a really rough round for the CT side to lose, man. Yeah,
indeed. This round's not live, by the way. No damage has been done, so we'll get a reset on this one, I'm pretty certain. But yeah, I think I do agree. It's a frustrating one, especially considering the way they lose that top car kill, right? And the fact that Dusty Roots saw No Way pick up that Galil in front of their very eyes. Yeah, it's very frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, they knew where the players were. They were hunting for them, but...
Right, Alexa, calm down, mate.
They turned into the prey.
One thing I will mention that I think is important to mention is that one of Dusty Roots' 2 wins, and there are only 2 wins, in ECL in South America this season did come against MIBR. So that's a decent scout.
That's a hell of a decent scout draft. I mean, there's a couple teams that you look at here in ECL Season 48 South America, and you're thinking, yeah, these guys should definitely qualify. MIBR is one of the top 2 teams, alongside Pain, I would say. Then you've got contenders like Red Canids, Fluxo, Odic,
yeah,
other names. I mean, I would generally include Imperial in there as well, and then at a stretch, teams like Bestia and Sharks. And then from there, you drop down another tier.
I mean, obviously we've spoken quite a lot about Henny, considering he's obviously the guy that left his team, got dropped for try. But Henny we kind of both called it in a way. And I think, with all due respect, I think I called it maybe 5 seconds before you called it.
No, mate,
but...
I gave you credit on that one. You called that one
okay, fair
before
enough.
there were any whispers of it. You were bang on.
Okay, I'm giving myself not enough credit then, fair enough. But yeah, seeing Henny and coldzera on the same team is pretty exciting. I think that can absolutely improve Red Cannons to maybe make them more of a guaranteed qualifier for the future.
One word to answer this question, then we get back into the game. You need to pick a team to qualify for the major, Imperial or Red Cannons. Who do you back?
Wow, that's my one word.
I was going to say, mate, I don't think you caught the rules of the game there, but either way.
Red Cannons, don't care. I like them
there
better.
We go. That would have been my answer as well, either way. We do have a four-spine response here from the CT side. Tommy's a man on a mission. The only Ryan here for his team, and he's found an opening kill. I'd love to see that sort of initiative being taken.
Yeah, trying to do what No Way did. 5-7, one of the best pistols in the game, of course. Trying to do as much damage as possible, and he does do some decent work there, did Max score, but not enough. Vinny has got an advanced angle with deep smoke in toward that CT area, locking the CT side completely away. And Tomajed, I'm sure, will try his best to save the M4 now. He can't.
Just too easy for Imperial. In towards mid, they just make their way up and out into the B bomb site, force the fight, kill the Coffins player, and then just work forward as a unit after that. Isolate and overwhelm. Yeah, I must say, this Imperial roster, considering the names that they had, the names they brought into the team, has actually done really well for itself, Trav. Not many people gave Vinny much credit when he took over the reins as IGL in this team, and you know, this project, I think, you know, everyone saw it as the last dance initially, and now it's turned into a very legitimate tier 2 contender. You know, players like Decency and No Way in particular have done really well to make names for themselves here in this Imperial roster, I would say.
Yeah, and I think No Way especially, because as we've, I think, both mentioned when we've done a game of Imperial in the past, he was just a streamer before he joined Imperial. It's literally his first ever org. It's crazy how that has really changed his life in a way. I'm sure obviously he was successful before this, but even more so now. Incredible as a professional player. Off out of nowhere. Phelps, that'll be frustrating for him not to get that spray down with the Mac 10. That looked like it was easy for him, but he gets taken down. And 1962 has caught Vinny as well. Try thankfully has a deep smoke in toward Arch, so he's locking off those rotations, but playing with danger a little bit by putting himself right behind that smoke. Maybe a dink could be possible for all these Dusty Roots players, but he really is kind of locking off everything right now. As soon as that smoke fades, he's going to be probably moving into position. There we go, he'll do exactly that. And he's going to more than just that one. It should be 3, and it is 3. Well done, Try. And that's the round secure.
I was a bit nervous there as well with how he was playing that position there behind the smoke. Just the timing between Library and watching Archers, maybe somebody phases through the smoke could have been costly, but it all works out in the end. What a waste of good wine, No Way. Either way, it's going to be the first gun round. It's not even like it's a great gun round for Dusty Roots either, Trav, and it's quite bleak as the underdog. Come into this first gun round, you're not going to get AWP, you're not going to get the desirable rifles across the board either. A couple for Masters to plug the gaps here, so prime opportunity for Imperial to really pull ahead in the early stages of the Spectrum 1.
Trying his best to dodge the artillery strike toward Banana, as it so often does come through. There was skill involved in the way he dodged that. That was quite good to only get taken down to 80 HP, but a nice little setup in Boiler there for Dusty Roots means that Senti will go down. So an important opening kill on the CT side for Dusty Roots.
Yeah, how do Imperial respond? That's the big question. just looking to take mid control for the time being. They still have Phelps posted towards the top of Banana, so they'll always have the option of pushing back in the direction, and that's what they're going to go for. At least Phelps is able to continue to bait out some utility, so if they do end up on that B bomb site, there won't be anything to keep them at bay. I say that, look at MaxCore. He's basically got a full belt. He's got all that crowd control util you'd love to have late into a round.
Yeah, this is perfect, but of course, probably just run straight through this at this point. There's only those two players on the site. The third rotation is only just now coming through. Of course, max score is so very low, and with Alexa taken down, I kind of saw this one happening from a mile off pretty much. Incendiary is not going to be doing much until he can drop behind the fountain. There's going to be a bit of a CT pressure from OCEANIA. It's stopped by No Way, and even though they had a 5 versus 4 for so long, just the combination of the health and the setup on B, it didn't really instill me with much confidence, it has to be said.
Yeah, very good util usage there from Imperial to get themselves into the B bomb site as well, but like you say, Dusty Root's got to be asking some questions of those B side players. MaxCore in particular, like, they're all over the bomb site and he still has an incendiary. I think he needs to be throwing that incendiary in the opposite side of the smoke once the pressure starts to mount. You shouldn't have that incendiary after they've gotten side control. And then he just pointlessly throws it into the middle of the bomb site, but at that point it's just too late. So terrorists win. It's going to be a big struggle here for Dusty Roots on Inferno. It's one of those maps that you can get an opening pick as a CT side, but it's probably the map that has the lowest conversion rate for 5 versus 4s on the CT side, I would say, because it's not like getting that opening kill goes a long way in securing the round for a CT side in Inferno. You know, it's so popular, the group up and exec into the B bomb side. Even if you're down 5v3 on the T side, you can recover those situations quite successfully. So yeah, Dusty Roots are going to have a tough time, even when they get those opening kills. That's not the job done. What do you think, Trav? Do you think Inferno's probably got the lowest conversion rate for a 5v4 for the CT side?
I reckon you're probably right on that one, actually. Yeah, it makes no sense because obviously just one kill can sometimes be enough to break open a site.
Exactly.
Oh, Tommy Jed boosted up. And
but he hasn't realised there were two.
It. Yeah, that's very nice. Little bait set up there. But again, he's taking space. And he knows he has to take space. He's gone on elsewhere. And he'll do exactly that. Alexa caught in the corner. Molly would have forced him out. Had to move. And now, 1962. I'm getting the impression he's not going to be here on time.
Bomb has been planted.
Fire, of course, is peeking to help out, and it'll work to absolute perfection. Of course, as well, Matt, just another thing that doesn't help the CT side in all these given situations. You mentioned that that MaxCore had that full belt of utility for that particular round. Incendiary also, right now in CS,
it sucks.
It sucks. Like, you barely take any damage to it unless you just sit in it on purpose. And in its early stages, you can just skirt past it. It's thinner. It's barely does any damage to you, and it hurts.
I think the first tick does like 4 or 5 damage in the first tick to the incendiary attack. It's just pathetic at this point.
It hurts.
And I think Inferno, yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say it hurts for the CT side, not the T side.
Oh, definitely. It hurts for the lack of pain is what hurts.
Exactly.
It should be doing more damage, but it just doesn't. And yeah, I think Inferno is one of the maps that you just feel it the most as a CT side. You know, Banana, you can't rely on one incendiary to molly out the cubby opposite logs anymore. You can't rely on one incendiary to cover up Banana entirely. Top Banana is certainly unreliable now, so yeah, you gotta go back and reassess. And there's no more jump binds either, Trav. No more jump binds. CSC in shambles.
Oh, there's no one in Banana anymore either, except for Imperial.
Have saved them there. Yeah, exactly.
What a double nade. Alexa and OCEANIA. OCEANIA took the brunt of that one. He was absolutely destroyed. He was playing aggressive angle. He wanted to try and keep control of it. He wanted to fight for it, but the fact that Imperial ever so slightly delay those double HEs catches them off guard. And now look at this little push up from Phelps. He's taking map control everywhere he goes.
Yeah, Phelps is looking saucy, man. He's gotten some really big kills. And actually that previous round was a good example of what we were just talking about in terms of 5v4s being converted on Inferno, because it was Dusty Roots who had converted, you know, they got the 2-for-1 trade top mid, 4v3, and it's just one T player who opens up that B bomb site, right, with some good timing on the push. So yeah, it's a A cruel mistress is the CT side of Inferno.
So I've I'm just trying to save here. It does actually quite well to take no away, but as this is a save, I'll do what we usually do when a relatively large update comes through, Matt. Really should die here, whatever happens. I'm pretty sure. Actually, maybe not. Never mind. 17 HP should be fine all the way in T-spawn. I'm just going to ask you.
Yeah, go ahead, mate.
Thoughts on the update?
You know, 2 mines. I think removing snap tap, that's something you and I have been calling for, something we've spoken about in our cast, makes sense at the highest level of the game. That's just not a part of the game. So I'm glad that they acted on that sooner rather than later. I'm glad there's already been a response and a resolution to that. Again, it just feels the way that they've gone about it feels lazy. Like there's something else that now has to be sacrificed because this is the easiest way for them to resolve that problem. You know, inadvertently now jump binds have to be taken out the game. Not because jump binds were a problem, but because mill binds and other movement binds were a problem, right? So, yeah, I don't know, Trav.
At least what I will say is that at least Twist has already like found a workaround that I'm pretty sure every pro player will probably be using now. Like I think you tweeted it earlier on today if you're interested. Twist.
Okay, well there we go.
But yeah, I agree with you. I don't mind the direction they've gone with this, to be honest. Like, I think they desperately wanted Snap Tap to not be a thing in the Shanghai Major cycle as well. So that's why they did it here and now very quickly, and maybe, you know, decided, okay, we haven't got time to figure out an answer to ruining jump binds as well. Let's just do it all in one go. So yeah, I think it's a fine route. I know some pros will hate it, but for me, it's I think it's just decent progression with the game. And I'm not going to say it's raising that skill ceiling, because I don't think it does, but
I'm not sure it does. I'm not sure it does raise the skill ceiling, and I think that's maybe I should be holding on to that point because we've got a massive round right now. Okay, it's too easy here for Dusty Roots, evidently. It's only try left remaining, 1 versus 2 with the AWP. Got the bomb in his back, and he's being flanked around from middle as well. There should be no way for try to make this one work. Time ticking away. And his gun barrel spotted. There we go. Easy frag for Max Core. And that is going to be essentially an eco round going the way of Dusty Roots.
Yeah, that's huge, because of course now that means that Max Core and Alexa will have a nice little bit of a backup bank to have on their side. Always nice when you win a round and a half by. And now, Matt, I can let you finish the point.
Yeah, subsidize that point I was going to make so I don't just sound like a lunatic. Where I go with this one is that, sure, you know, it used to be easier to throw those smokes, certain smokes with jump binds, especially the walk forward jump throw smokes, right? Those are the most difficult ones to land. And you could say, yeah, they kind of lower the skill ceiling having jump binds because you don't actually have to know the exact mechanism and timing to push the 2 buttons at the same time and release them and all the rest. But what I will say is having those reliable jump binds means you have smokes that you can rely on to then make plays and make calls and then go much deeper in the game knowing that that smoke is definitely landed. You know, fully reliable 100% of the time. And then that allows you to go much deeper in the round itself, whereas not being able to rely on smoke nades just takes away a really important aspect and layer of a round, right? So there we go. That's sort of where I come
I like that. Fair enough. I like where Dusty Roots are going with this. That's a lovely... It's kind of interesting, right? Imperial went for that sort of delayed double nade that let them take Banana very, very comfortably. And Dusty Roots also go for not very delayed, but maybe, you know, 5, 8, 10 seconds, something like that. They delay their take towards the top of Banana, and it works out beautifully.
Oh, no.
But Decenti, with what, 2 bullets left, has managed to tap down Max Core. He's picked up the AWP, and all there was a world. He could have taken that one without a shadow of a doubt, but he's at least given Vinny a chance. He's got a flash, and a molly, and the bomb. And he could actually just jump down onto the A site right now and plant, but of course he's not to know that, so he's going to have to take some time clearing out the site proper. In case someone has advanced, but the time this is taking means that, well, one, this noise will be heard by the little flank
so
from
noise,
Tommy
man.
Jed. And is he even going to expect it? The answer is no. They pounce together, good teamwork in Banana and on A, and Dusty Roots now just have half the score of Imperial. They're working their way back in ever so slightly.
And if they can win this next round here, then Imperial's economy, it's not going to be completely broken, but it will be for the most part. So 6-4 could become 6-5. We'd head into the last round of the half at that point. So Let's see if Dusty Roots can make that happen. Seems like they found a bit of momentum here on the CT side, winning out some early gunfights. Like you said, nice play being made there towards the top of Banana, not just going into a shell on that side of the map because of how things have gone throughout the half so far. No, they have to keep up the contest.
I mentioned Phelps is having to path his way around those nades, but obviously you changed the trajectory of those nades over the course of a half and maybe make it hard to predict, and, well, that time, he gets owned. He's 11 HP without seeing a soul. And of course, we did see a couple of those jump throw smokes that we come through from the CT side from spawn to smoke top mid. One missed, so I think count that as one missed smoke so
that's
far.
the one you have to run while you're throwing, right? I'm pretty sure from CT spawn.
It's going to be interesting to see, obviously, especially in the RMR closed qualifier and all the big events coming up, all the big qualifiers. Of course, IEM Rio does have a qualifier in EU coming soon as well, which is a pretty stacked qualifier. And another few events, of course, round and about. Showdown's going to be going on, as well as Dacha, I believe. So there's going to be a lot of missed smokes for us to count. And Phelps, I'm not sure he meant to do that either.
Alright, well, that's right. No way, just hit the shot on the fadeaway and try. Just hold down mouse button one there, as simple as that. Dispatches off Tommy Jet. It's only Owen left remaining, and I'm not sure this is where he wants to be right now. He has got a kit, but he's got no utility, and he's committed, man. He's all in, and you know what? It's essentially a 1 versus 2 for now, because 2 of the 4 players for Imperial are hard committed towards that A bomb site. So
Ninja.
I don't think a ninja's possible. I think he has to get both the kills here. Oh, Trav, they're departing. No way, still kind of feeling it out though. His Spidey sense is single slightly. Good awareness, lad.
That's so frustrating for OCEANIA. I bet he, after he dies there, he says to his team, why is he still there? Even though it makes complete sense.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. That's so true, though. That rhetorical question always gets asked when there's a perfectly reasonable explanation.
Don't get me wrong, I asked that quite a lot today.
I know.
5 games in a row, so.
Well, you deserve it after such a nice weekend. Take that.
Fair enough. Well, watched by No Way. And unfortunately for them, they are on track by in this next round, but they do take deep control of Banana once again. Good nades, good utility. Once again, Tommy Jin and Max Cord tagged down very low after going for this, but they've got their 5v4 again. Question is, how do they hold it? Because they're still very much lacking the weaponry. Of course, you can hear those Molotovs being thrown now as well. And hear the jump throw runs from the third person. You just hear that from your own POV now. You hear that as the person not throwing it, not making the noise. Audible to everyone. Oh, Decenti. Shooting to the side, my friend. Oh, nice pre-aim, nice pre-fire. You get a chance to fire it, Ditto and Zenio.
Good decisions being made by the CT side here, just in terms of how they move their pieces across the board. They know they have to go for some sort of a gamble because of the lack of weaponry in the round. They do have most of their players stacked over towards A right now, and Max Core with the AK is on the bomb side. Barely has any health to work with, but he's certainly going to have an impact if there's going to be any chance for him. Here we go, pieces fall into place, frag being found. Still 2 alive here for the CT side. 1962 thrives and takes the attention away from Max Core, who's able to find the kill to close out the round.
That's quite nicely done by Dusty Roots. They played off of each other's contact there really nicely. I'm of the genuine opinion right now, Matt, that the 5-7 is just a lot better than the Deagle. Like, I think there's a world in which rounds like that fall apart if a few Deagle shots are whiffed, especially if you maybe hit 2 body shots.
Oh, yeah.
And
agreed.
the accuracy reset of the Deagle as well can sometimes take so long. In fact, it's a 3-hit body shot now to get the kill. Been that way for a while, of course, but 5-7 just feels so much better, especially on close ranges on Inferno like this. And Dusty Roots made it sing.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. Just feels like they cause chaos. They're such a nuisance to play up against. They just keep tapping away. I feel like Imperial have just haven't been great in these sort of anti-half-buy, anti-eco rounds. Just haven't been enough. And yeah, well, it's going to be a massive flank from Nexa. Only the one kill. Phelps doesn't commit forward through the molly. 4v4 does settles for a brief moment.
Yeah, and obviously we'll run back down mid there, Phelps, to pick up one of the rifles on the ground, but of course that means they're a little bit spaced out there for Imperial, ever so briefly, but they've now rejoined as a trio. And of course they are trusting in Owenzinho top banana, and thankfully the first player shifts into the angle, not expecting Owenzinho to still be holding it in that position. He has a chance for the second and can't get it done. So flash off the fountain, fall back toward the back of the side, but now the amount of time he's wasted, there's going to be a lot of help. Look at the flank up banana already. Vinny does Owenzinho nicely, but hang on a second. Look where that flank is coming from. It should be very, very close, and there it is. Tommy Jid completes it, and that's actually quite a nice half for Dusty Roots in the end. We'll be back in a minute. And we're back-ish. A little bit of a attack or / tech timeout very briefly, I think, before we get the second half underway. But you know what? Dusty Roots are somewhat back as well. They actually had a much better half than I thought they would. I think it was 4-1, Matt, after they won the pistol. They lost 4 rounds in a row, and I was thinking, yeah, I think Imperial could run away with this one pretty nicely.
It was
worse.
It was 6-1.
Yeah, actually, fair play. You're absolutely right. Yeah, even worse. But Imperial, they lost a few rounds to a pretty much a half investment, so that definitely caught them off.
That was the biggest problem, is Imperial lost 2 rounds in that first half to a half buy. So certainly did throw things off track a little bit for them. Dusty Roots won the pistol in the first half. Let's see if they can do that here as well to just keep up that momentum from the end of their CT side into the start of their T half.
Indeed. Reminder, of course, this is the first map of the back-to-back best of ones. Inferno obviously will not be in the pool for the next best of one. And now we're on the way for that second half. Imperial, 2 sets of dualies, 1 flash on Vinny. And dualies, of course, boosted up with that Kevlar as well. They're going to be very, very scary. And pardon me, Try is playing behind the sandbags with Phelps trying to bait him in.
Same setup we saw from Dusty Roots in the first half. 2 players top banana, 1 towards Coffins with some support utility. Phelps gets that first frag. He's going to hang around, trying to take the bait. Try behind the sandbags, though. It gets completely cleared up by Alexa, and he doesn't even get to shoot back. That's the worst. And Decency is going pushing in apartments as well. I was going to say he's going to come across 1962. And the winner of that fight, I mean, I'm not going to say wins the round for their team, but certainly does take a big step in that direction.
Yeah, sometimes you watch these sort of pistols being played on a map like Inferno, right? And you think, well, if they just leapt in toward top banana there and maybe even, you know, went as a pack or whatever, that would have been 10 times more successful because of, you know, the setup for Imperial was set up for someone shifting into a crosshair, right? So that's kind of what Dusty Roots gave them. They worked their way out of the apartment. No way. Oh, I've been there. That one took a bit too long, but in the end it doesn't matter. He finishes off the round comfortably. Double for him, double for Decenti. And Imperial will take the pistol, but Dusty Roots did go a little bit too slow with that one on both sides of the map, it felt like.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good assessment. Probably didn't respond quickly enough to what was going on around him. Imperial just picked them apart. Perfect way here for the favorites to set things in motion in the second half. It's going to be a 4-spine response trap. They're going all in, and this is a brave decision. If you lose this 9-5, then you eco 10-5. Good luck coming up against Imperial, rather coming back against Imperial on the T side of Inferno when you're down 10-5. So there's so much stock in this 4-spy right now.
Oh,
there we go.
Beautiful
And
adjustment.
it's gone. All right.
And it's gone. That's a beautiful adjustment there by Try with the MP9, making it sing. And unfortunately for Dusty Roots, they're going to have to deal with a pretty much full eco in the following as well. Just a nade stack by the looks of it. Go on, get all 5, Max score, do it. There we go. I want to see...
Where do they go? Top banana? Do you split them?
The fact you've
surely
got
5 nades thrown together in towards one part of the map is just pointless, right? That's surely just overkill.
Let's see. Top mid? No, top banana. Here we go.
Oh, look how much damage they actually took. They took so much more damage than what they dealt, and they had the airstrike. They didn't even get a single kill. Oh man, that is ironic.
I remember it was many, many years ago where I think a CT side had a perfect setup on a full eco. Sorry, and against a full eco, sorry, playing in Mirage window, and 5 nades came in from the T side into the window. They got the 2 kills. There wasn't a close connector or short rotator, and they ended up winning the round on a full eco thanks to 5 nades.
Yeah.
Long time ago though. Can't remember what match it was, but I do remember it very well.
Fair enough. It's a popular strat, just nading through that top catwalk smoke, right? I'm a big fan of that one. I always think it's nice to have some sort of a strat you can fall back on in those sorts of rounds. Either way, this is a very big round for Dusty Roots indeed, and it hasn't gotten off to a favorable start. Through the smoke, Alexa goes down. Imperial claim full control of Banana in the process, and well, now start Dusty Roots. What do they do from here, man? How do they get this one across the line? Because they have to win this gun round.
Oh, that's a nice reaction from 1962. Yeah, I think No Way would have been hoping for a better result there because the flash in toward the apartments wasn't that bad. Betsy always going in for more, thinking that 1962 has completely departed the scenario, but even though he had, somewhat, he comes back and checks it on a perfect timing. He's down to 17 HP, he's battling for his life right now. And of course 1962 is low on 43 HP from his heroics. Vinny playing in the smoke with the MP9, Trying to get a tighter angle. Phelps playing on the Coldzera box, and you'd think maybe he'd get a kill from there, but he doesn't. Now Vinny, he's holding W with the MP9, looking for another. Oh, he's doing so much damage, so much work, so much work. And he continues to be an absolute menace. Try pulls out the Tech 9 to finish him off. And now Tomijed, he's got 17 HP for a 1v2.
I cannot believe that this has ended up in a 2 versus 1 for Imperial. It was a 4v2 there for Dusty Roots, but Vinny just drive by. Oh my goodness, just doesn't let go of W with his MP9. Try with the Tech 9, got in on the action as well. The job's not done just yet though, and they don't have a kit. How do they not have a kit, Travis Half? They've got so much money. They have all the money in the world and they have not invested into a kit, and that could lead to their demise here. They're still frantically trying to clear out the bomb site right now. Tomijed's gone back towards the top of Banana, and there we go. He peeks out, but Vinny will get that kill as well. And that is a disaster of the highest order for Dusty Roots.
What a play from Vinny. That's just pure...
Honestly.
Pure, just, I don't know, W key. That's all it was. And,
that's just massive balls right there, right?
Need a wheelbarrow. I'm sure there's a few on Inferno around.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's so frustrating for Dusty Roots. And, of course, in the end there, you mentioned that Imperial didn't have a kit on either player. Of course, Tomijed was not to know that. He's just trying to get one quick fire headshot and fall back into the cubby for as long as possible to waste the time. But if he knew they didn't have a kit, he would have waited at least another, 5 or 6 seconds. There's another nade that hasn't worked. Unlucky try. I think that's kind of a 3rd or 4th nade that's like in a jump throw or something. Been attempted and it hasn't worked. Amusing. Pro players are getting found out, Matthew.
Yeah, and it's a bit annoying for a spectator because, well, now you can't see the 6 strat that they had. You can't see this crazy plan they wanted to play out just because there's some unreliability with jump throws. And that's where I think it does kind of just lower the skill ceiling a little bit. Either way, maybe I'm alone in that feeling. 4 versus 5, Dusty Roots have spent all their money. Quite a few of their players have been chipped down here. Imperial have a very good idea of what's going on because they've peeked down middle. They've seen behind the curtain, so Try can rotate back around if he wants to. He's on the 4th angle right now. Gets 1 for free. Even deploys the incendiary. Phelps could be in some trouble though. If he gets a kill though, then that's fine. Unfortunately, he doesn't though. So round is actually on right now.
It's not going to be that comfortable for Imperial at all. They're double pushing. Oh, I the collateral. Tech 9 comes out. And the trade attempt from Owenzino does not come through. Try looking incredibly clean with that sidearm. Just having a Tech 9 alongside the AWP. Picked up. Just makes it look so easy for him.
Yeah.
Quick fire defuse comes through.
I was busy thinking the exact same thing. Because now he's got, what, like 3 or 4 frags with that Tech 9? And whoever dropped that from Dusty Roots is going to be a bit regretful over that one. Because Try has certainly made good of picking up that sidearm. 12-5. Imperial 7 map points here. Let's think about how Dusty Roots have won majority of their rounds. They won a pistol and they've won 2 force buys / half buys.
Yeah.
In the gun round, so we've had a massive disparity between the 2 teams.
Trying to piece the timing. Oh, this timing stopped. That's a nice headshot by Tomijed. The Senti will try and keep them at bay with that incendiary, and then he'll peek again. I love this re-aggression from Imperial. They have to recover a kill somehow. There's 3 angles that the Senti has to worry about, though, so he'll fall back away and play long cubby instead. I'm actually somewhat surprised that Dusty Roots didn't try and pounce on that one.
And what is their plan going to be? Still just a tempered approach to Sinti. Has been able to get in on that smoke grenade. By himself right now. He's about to be swung by 3.
Oh.
He's fragged 2. He's got support there from Vinny as well. Oh my goodness. It's only Alexa 1962 left remaining to try and save the day. Yet another advantageous situation. Crypto unconverted. It's all on Alexa.
1v2. Got a smoke. Got the bomb on his back. Those are the only 2 very thin silver linings. He's made 2 steps in apartments as well. Vinny would have absolutely heard that. Velps has got the line. And got a line that should be absolutely fine. Alexa is pining for his teammates right now, and he won't be able to do anything with it. Vinny takes it comfortably. As expected, Imperial take their first map 13-5 in the back-to-back best-of-1 format. That is kind of what we thought would happen, but for Dusty Roots, really the only thing we can really say for them is, well, not good enough gun rounds.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It was unfortunate because there were moments, there were glimpses. Won the first half pistol round, kind of found their footing towards the end of the first half, at least made a competitive 5-7, but then just never really got going, unfortunately, on that T side. Maybe just too slow to respond to situations. Just didn't really seem to have much of an edge to them, right? It was just quite a slow T side, just going through the motions kind of thing, but never really was there much fire, and I think they were just a little bit scared of, you know, the underdogs playing up against a team like Imperial's always going to be intimidating.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I have no doubt Dusty Roots went into this game day thinking, okay, if we somehow win a map, it'll be amazing. We've had previous beating MIBR on one of these games in this season, but yeah, I think they knew what was up against them, and it was a bit of a struggle. Of course, here we go. You can see Try, our player to watch. He didn't disappoint. A couple of really important moments from him, especially with the AWP and the Tech-9 sidearm when he was in the midst of the madness, especially on that round actually where he helped out Vinny when he was running riot with the MP9, right? So, yeah, I think it was a confident and clean performance from Imperial, and we'll have to see if they can do that in the next best of one. We'll talk very quickly about that veto after the break for that next game. And we're back for more South American ECL action. Dusty Roots in the gun rounds where they had their biggest issues, sadly, on that opening BO1. Imperial, sure, they weren't entirely clean. They lost to a few ecos, lost to a few low investment rounds by Dusty Roots, but in the end, it was pretty comfortable. And of course now, no more Inferno to look at. We have to look at the map for the next map, next BO1, of course, in this little back-to-back BO1 series we have. And it's going to be Mirage, Matt.
I'm happy with that. I'm a Mirage enjoyer. A lot of people have come back in favor of Mirage after it was such an entertaining map in the final of Cologne. A lot of people going off on Twitter once again saying what a classic map Mirage is and why it has to stay in the pool. Everyone's just catching up to speed, basically, as far as I can tell, because I've been high on Mirage for a very long time, so I'm looking forward to it, mate.
Yeah, I literally after that Mirage at Cologne, I was like, listen, Mirage haters, come at me, because it still provides such incredible entertainment and incredible mid rounds and you know, high skill moments in the biggest games in the world. So yeah, I still love it. If I was to, you know, make a choice right now, we saw Train in the show match at Cologne. I'd love to see Train come back, maybe get it in for Vertigo, maybe get it in for I hesitate to say Inferno, but that's just because we know we've just seen that map and it can be a bit iffy sometimes. But yeah, I'd love to see Train again, at least at some point in the near future. Maybe post Shanghai Major, I think we could see a bit of a refresher to the map pool. But when it comes to Mirage for Dusty Roots and for Imperial, it's actually, we've gone from the kind of worst two maps for both those two teams to almost their best, actually. Imperial love Mirage. They play it a hell of a lot. I played it 10 times recently, and they've only lost twice. One to Case in ECL, and one to Sharks, I think, also in a previous season of ECL, if I'm not mistaken. Imperial have not played amazing opposition on the map. They've won it, as I said, 5 times in a row. They beat MIBR on it twice, which is pretty decent. But yeah, at the moment, it's not really as much to write home about, as of course they've only played matches regionally, like Dusty Roots, of course, who actually have played it twice post player break, and they lost it to Fluxo 13-2. One of those results. So I wouldn't give them much hope in this one, but you never know. It is Counter-Strike after all. Let's see. Anything can happen.
And let's see exactly what is going to happen. Imperial starts off on the T side and they're throwing a fake trav. A little bit of misdirection. It's going to be the stairs and the jungle smoke thrown. And there's going to be some pressure into the A-bomb side. It's drone own off of the box. But he is still going to be around here just in time. The crossfire is set up right now between himself and Alexa. Ooh. And it's worked out perfectly. I don't think Imperial let that fake marinade nearly enough there, Trav. They didn't actually commit. They didn't force any fights or, you know, really try and draw those rotations out before they committed to the B-bomb side. They just expected the util alone to force those rotations. And I think they could have applied more pressure.
It's a weird one, isn't it? It's actually a kind of a carbon copy T-pistol we've seen from Imperial, and both these two maps we've watched today. A bit lazy, a bit slow and a bit lazy, just kind of picked off. And, you know, knowing Imperial, they'll probably find a way to win this round exactly how they won the one on Inferno, because Phelps has got that hero Galil again. We'll see.
Surely not, though, right? Surely history doesn't repeat itself again, and there we go, Trav. I was going to say, we got a missed sniper smoke, but it was actually just a decoy. So the decoy successfully baited me.
Well, let's count them up this game, guys. This is my, obviously,
keep a little tally.
My first, quite a few on the turn, so 4 or 5, in terms of, you know, jump throw mollies and flashes and banana, and one of the spawn smokes as well on the CT side. But this is the one where, you know, jump throw and spawn jump smokes are probably most known on Mirage. When they first became such a huge thing. That window smoke, of course. Boosted in. This is the all-important duel, and Tommy Jade now realizes that Galil is in play and where it is in play. So he'll choose not to battle too much longer if he's on the 18 HP. They're going to try and boost up to try and remove him, but Max Gore is here to help, and he's got 2 players on the other side of this. Somehow Tommy Jade does get taken down in the end, but Max Gore makes sure. Gets that second kill. Max is here to help out. He swings right past Try. Barely without seeing him almost. For a split second. F1 race car peak so fast, he barely saw it himself. But doesn't matter. This time they do win that second round, that all-important second round. And Imperial will now go for their purchase in round number 3.
And it doesn't look great, I'll tell you that much. Vinny has to settle for a Desert Eagle, and Phelps gets a Galil. And this is because of how much they decided to invest in that previous round. So, yeah, I mean, they were lucky they got away with it on Inferno before this. I called it out then. I said I don't really like the way that they've spent their money. And now you can see the effects of it coming into this gun round. Oh, nice score. Perfect position being taken up. Nate should finish off Vinny here as well. At least taking down even further. Frag continues to come through elsewhere on the map, and things looking very good right now for Dusty Roots.
Yeah, Maxcore actually does quite well there. He only had a few bullets left in his clip, and I think it's fair to say Dusty Roots would have won the round anyway. But the fact he finds one more from that is good. Leaves Vinny stuck, and as you mentioned, the buy, of course, in this open round, opening gun round for Imperial. It's a frustrating one to have to deal with. 3 AKs and a Galil is more than enough, I'd say, but I kind of really prefer a full purchase. I guess Imperial so confident in it after what happened on the previous game. Vinny will go down in the end.
Okay, this is good for Dusty Roots. We haven't really seen them with momentum behind them in this, well, obviously the best of one before this. So, nice start here on Mirage. Should be able to extend it to 4-0 here. Just the pistols to get across the line in this fourth round.
There's that jump throw grunt that we all know, but of course now it can be heard from the third person.
Can you get the opponent's grunt as well, Trap?
I believe so. But if you're jump throwing anyway, you are going to be landing and making a sound cue either way.
That's true. I wonder if it's more or less audible just in terms of the range.
Yeah, that's something I kind of thought of. For a second I was like, oh my god, you can hear the jump throw grunt on the other team? Surely that's game changing. And I was like, oh, okay, wait.
Yeah,
Be able to hear the player landing anyway.
Alright, well, some pressure mounts here on save offside right now. Then he has been able to make his way through connector. He's looking for an angle. Very passive out of the CT side, going deep towards CT, and then his teammate tucked him behind the firebox. So just no fights being offered up right now. At least nothing easy. All on Dusty Roots' terms.
Well, to get one, but it's only going to be one. And Dusty Roots have built up a great bank early game on Mirage. Who will now get back into their buy, and they can't let this one get a little too out of hand. I mentioned, of course, in our original pre-game before the first BO1 that Imperial actually do need to make sure they get a few 2-0s this season, because as I said, they played a couple of matches this season with Zach while they were figuring out the try transfer after they'd benched Henny. So you need to make sure they get a few clean match days to make sure they get themselves in that top 10, at least in that top 10. They know it's very easy, in inverted commas, to get to playoffs. It's not exactly the hardest achievement when you're a team with this name value, but still.
What's of utmost importance is that they actually make it inside the top 7. Because at that point, then you start your playoff run from the upper bracket. Either way, focusing up here on this round because it's a really important gun run. Imperial solid opening frag at the start of the round, and then Descenti playing that lurk role, or should I say the extremity role there towards ramp. He catches the aggression, and then another kill comes through as well. So just individual frags being racked up by Imperial. 1962 to the first responder, but although he gets a kill, he's been dinked up in the process, and it is going to be Imperial getting their first round on the board. Pretty simple stuff coming through from them. Really nothing special.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they will know they just have superior everything. Like, that is just the true... Like, no disrespect to Dusty Roots, of course, but that is the true fact of the matter. It's not like Dusty Roots had a really good start to the ECL season, and, you know, making a true name for themselves, and maybe in that top 5 or so, they're actually bottom of the entire league right now. So if Imperial don't find a way to get this 2-0, they'll be very, very upset.
Yeah. It is important for them, like you said, look at check at the start of the season, but they certainly are settled down now. certainly back them to make it in the top 7 there in the Swiss stage. Start their run in the playoffs in the upper bracket either way. Let's see what's going to happen here in this round. Really not much money in the bank for whoever loses this.
Yeah, a little bit of a swing round. Need to perhaps some Vinny will have a little bit of cash left over. Zinho is on the balcony. In the window. Take a shot. Drop straight down to safety. If he's allowed to. Many a time where that's gone wrong before. Well to position himself slightly safer as that flash came through in case he did get swung. Keep himself up there. Keep himself aggressive. Now he will now creep his way through underpass with Alexa keeping an eye on short. 3 players in mid with Try and Con. And they're going to try and make their way up together as a group, I would think. Alexa trying to do some work from there. They're trying to set up a few nades and set up a few crossfires, but Vinny, a really nice trade. Essentially will deal with something as well. They haven't seen Max Core yet, though. They haven't expected him, but he only gets 1. And that gives Imperial a 3v2.
Yeah, good composure, good structure coming through from them. Solid trade work. Owen phases through the smoke, and again, the trades are what Imperial moving forward here in the round. Try should go down here. He's actually been able to evade Alexa for now. Retreats all the way back into Connector. That forces Alexa to expose himself to Descenti. Descenti not giving up that gunfight just yet. Imperial are just toying with him for now. Eventually, the fight will be forced, and Descenti will come out on top. Props to Try for being able to stay alive there. And it will be Imperial who double up and break the economy of the CT side in the process. A well-worked round there. I like the emphasis on the numbers coming through Connect onto that A-bomb site. And sure, even though they don't clear out Sandwich, they still just have the numbers to trade anyway.
That's so frustrating for Alexa, though, isn't it? Like, it's always a matter of fractions in Counter-Strike. If he gets that first kill, gives himself a chance in the 1v1, then he's just desperately trying to isolate one of the two. Just can't make it happen. Pretty much a fully KO here for Dusty Roots, other than that MP9. There's a bit of a stacking about position, but that's being dealt with fine. There shouldn't be an issue with this round anymore. A little bit spooky, but no way. Fine, all good. Which means I can tell you now, Matt, there's been a new update for CS. Oh my god. Don't panic, guys. Clearly it's a brand new operation and, like, you know, key rings and stuff. No, I'm kidding. It's a new music kit and some bugs, including a performance stutter at the end of round. There you go.
Like that, and you know what we like even more is it hasn't actually interrupted our game so far. When we touch wood, I gotta say that.
That is true.
4-3, and you know what? Now it starts to get a little bit nervy for Dusty Roots if they lose this round here. Scoreline leveled up because it feels like Imperial are in their groove on the C side now. Shots are being hit, and Phelps hasn't even warmed up, and we know Phelps is very much so a Mirage enjoyer. Loves running it down middle. You remember on Bucks, he was one of their core proponents or biggest factors as to why they were successful on this map. So many contributions from him, particularly through Connector and mid. Either way, this round is not going great for Imperial right now.
Yeah.
They've been picked off a 5 versus 3 as things stand.
Oh, and we saw Matt there trying to play with that Connector smoke, and he was just about to get away. Once he realised his team were in a 5v3, I was like, okay, I don't need to make this play now. It would be a bit silly of me. Imperial do have some information on some of the Dusty Roots positions right now. So in this 3v5, it's not entirely impossible. Just about piling their way back into it. Checking that ladder room position. Boost will try and catch a jungle player or catch a rotator through Murder Hole, but there's going to be no gifts there for now. And he drops down. So lots of noise being made. That's going to give Dusty Roots a hell of a lot of intel. Where perhaps at least 2 of the players are residing. 34 seconds. There's not really many options here for Imperial anymore. They're backing away toward top mid. I'm getting the impression we could be planning a save here.
Yeah, looks like it. And that late molly will certainly seal the deal. So Dusty Roots are going to keep things simple here in this round. Just win out that gunfight top mid. Apartments as well. Simple as that. That means that they extend their lead by a round here.
Counter-terrorists win.
They've looked better here on Mirage than they did in Inferno. Look like a more complete unit. Look more comfortable on the CT side. Had some decent rounds in towards mid so far, in particular have Dusty Roots. I think that's been probably the biggest factor of their success in this first half so far, is when they've been able to lock middle down. So let's see if that's something that they try to keep up with here.
Interesting, I'm not sure if you noticed this, as Try actually deals with Tommy Jones. He's the one who threw the nade into the smoke to try and get the pick, but Try is the one to take the kill. How many window smokes have we actually seen? Teams are defaulting to that top mid smoke. I mean, say teams. Imperial are defaulting to that mid smoke right now. The one that doesn't need a jump.
Yeah. I don't think we've seen one just yet. I mean, it's quite easy to throw on the fly once you've gotten towards top mid, but it's a smoke that if you want to take mid with pace at the start of the round, that's why you throw it from spawn, right?
Look where 1962
yeah, what's going on here then?
and Max score are.
Bit of a flank here.
T-Spawn has been completely overrun. Look at Max score on that mini-map right now. He could get 1 or 2 in the back. Look at Max Core, number 4. He's already got 1. Finally they figured it out, and somehow, no way, trades that to the corner of the wood. And Owen, Zenio, and Alexa get caught by Vinny. 1962 is bypassed another player in the smoke. What's going on right now? This is a clown fiesta. What a
There's
round.
a flank from Phelps as well. Phelps has just come through from Market. He's going to outflank the flanker. What have we just watched? There should be no world in which Imperial not only win that round, but keep 4 players alive winning it as well. If I told you, if we took a snapshot when there were the 2 players who had just come through T-Spawn outside of top mid and TV room, and I told you, Trav, Imperial are going to win this round and keep 4 players alive, you would have called me crazy.
I certainly would have. That is kind of crazy. To have a double flank look that good as well, with the timing in the round, with the situation that Imperial were, I guess, setting up in a way, it's wild to think that even if No Way does get taken down by Max Core, Max Core brought him down to 5 HP, it probably still doesn't change the outcome of the round, considering where Phelps was and considering what Vinny did.
Yeah, true. It's a good point. Certainly an insurance policy for Imperial.
Yes, it's frustrating with Dusty Roots. They must be thinking, okay, we had everything in the palm of our hand, and if we can't win rounds with that, then which rounds can we win? But it's been a bit of it's been still a decent performance from them so far. Let's keep an eye on Try and what smoke he throws here. I'm very interested in this. It is an immediate jump throw. I didn't hear a grunt, unless I'm mishearing things, but that smoke did hit.
Yeah, Try's based, he can land his jump throws without any binds. Just like me, for real. Eco Trav. Dusty Roots have got some upgraded weapons to work with here in the round, but not much that they really just been chased down by Vinny. Oh, okay, Alexa. What have we just witnessed? The Must has rotated through here, you know, but I don't think it's going to be able to do a whole lot. A single point of health for No Way. Just 1 hit point is what he has to his name.
I am also a BA on Mirage. I'm on most maps actually, but I'm on the hard site anchor. Let's put it that way. And the fact that Alexa gets 1 is remarkable. The fact that he almost gets 2 is even more remarkable, and he's gonna be very upset that No Way he's on 1 HP. I think he probably hit 2 shots with the Deagle there. That was 99 in 2, if I was to guess. Probably hit some feet, some thighs.
Yeah.
Phelps is staring at 1962.
He's just wondering.
If to say, how on earth are you there?
Yeah, and how have you not seen me as well? How am I killing you? You've just backed up into my crosshair. He's so confused, just left scratching his head.
I love when you can see players' body language in the server.
Yes, absolutely. Very evident, very clear as to what Phelps was thinking in that moment. Okay, Imperial in control. Can they get themselves a lead here? Try with this AWP is looking to make moves in towards middle. There are 3 players going to the CT side as well. And it's actually going to be Molly's going both ways, opening. Both teams have found a frag here as well. This round is not going to be slowing down.
62 had a chance at a second, but no way deals with it nicely. Just about staying alive on 24 HP. Desensi, of course, in a good position to help out as well. Already down the ladder from Palace. He's got Tommy Jed locked in toward jungle, but does very well there. Now No Way has to get a fresh reload off, and he has managed to make his way onto the site, and that nade's going to be tasty. Good damage, and it does damage to both, and the reaction on the second player of Alexa is unbelievable. Tommy Jed is heard, rotating it through towards CT, and he's there in time to get both. Despite Vinny's heroics, a triple kill from him. It's a quad from Tommy Jed to keep Dusty Roots just about in the lead.
Yeah, massive impact out of Tommy Jed. Realized that he couldn't waste any time and allow for Imperial to get back into post-plant positions. He knew for a fact where Vinny was, right? And then he gets the kill on the second player first, and he's able to just swing Vinny knowing that he's low. Great attempt there from Vinny. Imperial, well, they were always supposed to lose that round there, but he nearly brings it back for them. I must say, he's markedly improved himself as an individual over the years, and to go along with that, he's also become an IGL. I feel like Vinny must be one of the most improved players, you know, at this level over the past, like, 3 or 4 years. Just remember,
Vinny.
back in Furia with that old team, no one would ever say his name. He was never the player who was spoken about. Then he was brought into the last dance mix, and people kind of laughed at it a little bit, I think, and now he's the lifeblood of this Imperial team.
Love Vinny. I think he's sort of rightfully his name into that thing. Oh, that's going to be rough for try. That's the MP9 rushing him down. Yeah, I think Vinny's rightfully put his name in the list of Brazilian players that deserve a lot of respect for what he's done over the years. Tommy Jed. Keeping a gap in the ladder room between the grate there, but catch it. Oh, and I think he sees MaxCore as well. That's horrible for MaxCore's POV. He can barely see him.
Still a way back into the round here, though. 3 versus 3. Owen with his AWP has been impactful here on the CT side of Mirage so far. Can't clock out just yet. Still work to be done. Bomb carrier going back around ramp. 1962 is there right now. This dual book is flying around, by the way. And it's going to go the way of the MP9. The maneuverability of the SMG lets him step out there in the middle of the gunfight. Very tough for Vinny to adjust in that situation with the AK. That earns a big advantage. Information gained. They know that that bomb is rampant. Well, time is taking away as well. Owen is in the corner, and No Way knows that.
Yeah, drops down, makes noise. Owen gives up that AWP. The Kenny S simple immunity stickers won't save him today. And Alexa and 1962 are in this 2 versus 2. Positions here. That's a beautiful swing from the MP9, but hang on, here's No Way. And he knows exactly where Alexa is. 9 seconds for the plant. In comes a nade. Oh, it goes way too deep. There's no damage whatsoever. But now a jumping headshot and a finish by Alexa. That's exactly what you need to be doing with the MP9. Full maneuverability, full aggression, and it catches Imperial off guard. It was 7-5 to Imperial on our first game. It's 7-5 to Dusty Roots on our second. See you in a minute. And we're back. Dusty Roots, 7-5. A pretty decent CT half from them. It's good signs that we have seen. A few funny rounds, some amusing things here and there, especially with the way that we ended off the half as well. And now Imperial need to make sure they complete this one, because if they are to drop a map for Dusty Roots today, they won't be happy.
No, that is not a part of their plan here in ECL Season 48, certainly not. Job to be done here, locking down the defense on the A-bomb side, and I mean they've just found 3 kills here off the bat. Stops Dusty Roots in their tracks. A little bit of a fight back from Owen, a lot of a fight back there from Owen, and now he's left by himself. It's gonna have to be a 1 versus 3, an ace in the round if he's gonna make this one work for his team. He continues to force these fights. He's still got 34 health, but now he's been chipped down even further. Imperial are not giving him any room to maneuver right now. My goodness, they're really looking to finish off the job, and eventually Phelps will. Good stuff coming through from the CT side to open up their account first here in the second half.
Straight on to the 4th spy, though, of course. AK and Galil in play. Other than, of course, Imperial having their 1 Galil. This time it's AK and the Galil. Deagles around the others, of course. Tomajed is the sacrifice the armor alongside Owenzinho to get those in play. The aggression top mid though from Imperial, using this top mid smoke to their advantage. No way, might find a timing here. Help from team up top of window and try and Descending connector, but all the duels go the way of Dusty Roots in that mid round there. With Alexa in 1962 using those weapons to the best of their ability. Max Core is the one that kicked it all off, like I said. And Vinny, he's the 1v3 with an MP9.
Force-Spy looking very good right now here for the T side. I mean, surely the job's as good as done. Might have some flashbacks from Inferno after what Vinny was able to do there with the MP9, but there's no way he can do it here, right? Gonna try and go through Palace. He has got a kit to his name. It's going to require a miraculous effort out of him. This one's gotten out of control way too quickly. Skirmishes taken in middle, not favoring Imperial at all. And this is the result. I mean, he's found a little bit of a gap here, but there's nothing on offer. That's the problem. Okay, spot out 2. Spray down good on the first, but a 1D out of Tomajed will make good of the multi out of 1962. And Dusty Roots keep distance between themselves and Imperial. Yeah, true. It's yeah, missing a prong on the fork as well. Just a small spoon. It's not even a big spoon, Trav. Not even a ladle, mate. Yeah. I mean, this is a really big opportunity for Dusty Roots, because if they win this, then 10-6 is ripe for the taking. And they're just 3 rounds away from winning the map at that point. Game on. Pressure on here for Imperial. And all that pressure can be released if they can just win this force spy.
Yeah. It's a weird buy. Be the spoon and fork, but maybe no way can make that fork look really sharp. It's a nice 1D to start. They're surrounded right now. Surely you can't dance around any longer. Can't. Descenti though, oh, what a reaction on the second. That was clean.
Wow.
And Phelps has taken Tomajed. They can just win rounds with anything, can't they? This nade will do great damage. The Molotov actually should remove Descenti from this round. There's no way he's getting out of that, but there's a smoke in play still. Dropped in just in the nick of time to keep him alive. And Owenzinho would have been winning it anyway. He was only 8 HP. Try with the scout takes to kill. How have they got away with that one then?
Couple nice shots from Descenti, I guess, is the answer. Try able to just cover his teammates at that point, hold down the line and finish off the job. It's a pretty one-dimensional option from Dusty Roots there against the Force Spy to just group up and go for the exec like that. Haven't really tried to play into the strength of the weapons, you know, try and maybe get some map control, get a little bit of info. It's not like there was a full stack on that A-bomb site, but there were certainly numbers on that side of the map for Imperial, and they locked it down. And like I said, they avoid They avoid that sticky situation of having to go and potentially fall behind 10-6. Now they've got a prime opportunity to level up the scoreline. And if Dusty is going to lose the map, Trav, this is sort of that the portion of the game where it'll feel like it slipped away from them.
Yeah. No way. With the nades. Out to the FAMAS. Descenti with the AK. 4 alive. And suddenly it's flipped completely the opposite way around. It's Dusty Roots who are on pretty much a full eco here. Descenti up to 16 and 8 now.
Been a very good showing. He had a good performance in the first map as well. The first best performance. Dusty Roots will turn up the pace. He selects or does. The rest of his teammates make their way in towards mid. And all of a sudden, it's just 1962 left remaining. And not for much longer. He'll follow his teammates into the afterlife. 9-8 for the first time here on the map. Imperial have a lead. Do they extend that lead, or do we continue to go back and forth here? I feel like, yeah, I mean, this is a must-win round here for Dusty Roots. If they lose this 10-8, no, Bomb Plomp becomes 11-8, and Imperial are very good on Mirage. They're not going to let that lead slip through their fingers and right on the snap. Dusty Roots is thrusting themselves in towards middle with numbers. No way finds a kill, but then falls off, so he can't get more than just the one, and he's out in the open right now. Many different targets to try and contest, and he will actually be able to find 2 kills. Try at range has gotten in on the action as well. It's only Alexa left. This was the all-important gun round, Trav.
I feel like Nowhere has been flinging his way around into duels, whether it's been, you know, the way he ended up on 1 HP on the opposite side when he against the Deagle in Van on B. And in mid there, makes the jump up toward the short position. Gets himself right on the corner of the railing. Gets a lovely clean spray, drops down. Then looks a little bit uncomfortable, but the reaction on the second was so clean and sharp. It leaves Alexa on Chilean on Dusty Roots.
Oh,
Right.
goodness. It's just mission impossible for him here. And there we go. Timing, not going to finish him off, but he's been tenderized. And he should take him down, and he does. Now, my only problem with that round there from Dusty Roots is it's a must-win round as we build it. Something that, yeah, they just can't afford not to win it with the context of the map. And you go for a play where just everybody runs out middle. You're jumping through smokes. It's such a volatile play, such a risky play. And, yeah, I feel like they should have just maybe tried to play the percentages a little bit better there, Trav.
Sometimes percentage can be said a lot, but it is the way you'd want to go. Sometimes risks have to be taken. I'm going to go for something a bit speedier now, but Ascensi's looking clean with it. Even half running the second, gets that headshot. Lovely third as well. That's probably the best hold you could hope for out of a rifler playing near that triple box, even against pistols. He does incredibly well. I think they are aware of the possibility of a smoke push by Tommy Jed. It'll be removed by a combination of Vinny and Phelps. Imperial are creeping toward that finish line now.
I want to see what Dusty Roots can do here when they try and work themselves into a round. You know, take time, some good utility usage, working as a unit, forcing fights, getting picks, and then setting up for an exec. I want to see them use the round here to try and get themselves into it. Not just throw themselves at Imperial and force gunfights in the first 10 or 15 seconds. Oh, there we go. There's a smoke.
Add it to the list. It's actually like, I've seen more bog standard top mid smokes on Mirage today in a professional game than I've seen in years. And that's purely because of that change, I swear to God.
Yeah, must be right. Seems like it's just a default to throw it every single round now, because you can't rely on the sniper smoke the way you used to be able to before. Can't know for a fact it's there or not either way. What we do know for a fact is Dusty Roots missed right now. Try with the ball, he's looking for fights. He's missed his shot. Does find the follow-up, but there's still so much pressure immediately afterwards. But Phelps, he has released all of that pressure with the triple.
Phelps, man. Kind of the man that didn't get the success, really, back in the SK days. And, of course, then the MIBR days. And that era when he was playing with the legends of Brazilian Counter-Strike. The majors went to the famous FNX for Cold Taco Fallen team. He won some big events, won some big S-tier events, of course, with Phelps with that group. But never won one of the majors. And it does make me happy that after that little period when he was out in the wilderness as well for a while, came back, didn't look that great, then he had some health issues, figured himself out, and now he's one of Imperial's most important players. And of course, since made a great run at a major. Happy for him.
Yeah, rightfully so. Alright, well, let's see. Do things end here? And now, is there some sort of a twist in the tail? A fight back from Dusty Roots. 4 versus 3 numbers don't look great, but they have found some good timing here on Vinny. They're able to get themselves out of apartments, but now they have to deal with the duo Vinny and Phelps. Will be able to lock it down, Trav. That is Imperial winning 13-8. And that's so rough for Dusty Roots as well, because it feels like there was a moment in that second half where they could have gotten into it, they could have gotten going, but they what was it, the Desert Eagle stack they lost to on that A bomb side? It just all fell apart from there, man. I need to turn my lights on, Trav. You go ahead, mate.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? It's kind of crazy that double Deagle really was that big turning point, because Dusty Roots felt in the game. They felt in the game. They felt like they. Because think of how the scoreline would have changed if that round would have gone their way. Because that was a weird force play from Imperial. Obviously, they don't have the talent to make it work. We've just seen that firsthand. So, yeah, kind of I would say disappointing with Dusty Roots that they'll know that's a chance missed.
Yeah, to add on to that point, like I said during the game, it would have been 10-6 for Dusty Roots had they won against that force buy. And then it's a completely different game at that point. But now they don't even get more than 8 rounds on the map itself. They never won another round after they lost that force buy. So, just quite brutal indeed there for Dusty Roots. And I guess as the underdog, it is always going to be very tough for them. You just can't afford to lose those sorts of rounds, mate.
Yeah, and those are the ones that you have to keep clean as well when you're up against a team that, sure, Imperial did make some mistakes today, especially on the Inferno game, but they don't give you too much for free in general, right? So, yeah, that's going to improve Imperial's standing, of course, in the league.
Yes.
They're up to 5-4 now. I believe that next one will be 6-4 for them. 6 wins, 4 losses. So they'll be ahead of Insanity, I believe, now in 9th place in the standings. So they're going to need to continue to improve that without a shadow of a doubt. Unfortunately, with Dusty Roots, they'll stay locked and rooted, no pun intended, toward that bottom place of the league. So that's where we stand after another night of South American ESL Challenger League in Season 48. We're going to say goodnight now and get some rest. Hopefully you guys will as well. And see you soon. Cheers.
Bye.